Applications of polynomial expressions. So we're going to deal with perimeter, area, and volume. So 1 and 2 are relatively basic. So number 1 says determine the area of the rectangle below in terms of x. So it wants us to find the area of a rectangle. So if we think about our formula, the area for a rectangle is length times width. Now it doesn't matter which one you call length and which one you call width. So let's just call the 2x plus 4 length. So my area will equal 2x plus 4 times the width, 3x minus 7. So the only difference between this and regular basic mathematical problems is that you have to set it up on your own. Now that we have set it up, we're going to multiply these polynomials because that's what it says to do, length times width. There's nothing in the middle, just like we would normally. So we're going to take 2x times the entire second parenthesis, so 2x times 3x minus 7. And we're going to do plus 4 times the second parenthesis. So plus 4 times 3x minus 7. Now that we've broken it apart, simply distribute. So 2x times 3x will make 2 times 3 will make 6. And x times x makes x squared because you add the exponents when you multiply. Then 2x times negative 7 is negative 14x. Multiply in the 4. 4 times 3x makes positive 12x. And 4 times negative 7 makes negative 28. And that's it for the multiplication. There's nothing else left to multiply. I've done everything that I needed to multiply. So now we are just going to see maybe we can clean this expression up. Can I combine any like terms? And so I see that negative 14x and 12x are like terms. So we're going to drop the 6x squared. Negative 14x and 12x combine to make a negative 2x. Remember, when you are combining like terms, you do not change the variable. The x plus an x is still an x. You only change exponents when you multiply. And then the negative 28 also does not have a like term, so he will drop down as well. So this is the area of this rectangle in terms of x. Number 2 is fairly similar. Determine the area of the triangle below in terms of r. The only reason it says in terms of r is because it's got a different variable in it. So I still want area of a triangle. So just like we started number 1, let's start number 2 by knowing the area of a triangle is 1/2 base times height. So I'm going to set up my problem. So my area will be 1/2 times, this is the base here, 4r squared minus 2r plus 3 times the height, which is the 6r minus 8. Now, with the triangle, it's a little bit more difficult because of this half. Think about regular multiplication. It doesn't matter what order you multiply things in. So I can multiply the half times this trinomial. I can multiply the trinomial and the binomial first, or I can multiply the half times the binomial. The half times the binomial seems to be the simpler option. And the reason why is if you distribute 1/2 into the trinomial, you cannot do half times 3 and get a nice whole number. You get a fraction. So I'm going to rearrange this a little bit. I'm going to do 1/2 times the binomial. And then after I figure out what that is, I'll multiply it to the trinomial. So I'm going to go ahead and distribute the 1/2. 1/2 times 6r is 3r. 1/2 times negative 8 is negative 4. Now, because we still have to multiply all of this to the trinomial, that 3r minus 4 has to stay in parentheses because those are stuck together with that subtraction sign. So because I still have multiplication to do, I need to keep this set of parentheses around my result from the first multiplication that I did. Now that I've done the first multiplication, we're going to do the second multiplication. So I need to do 3r times the trinomial. So I'll kind of space it out. 3r times 4r squared minus 2r plus 3. Then minus 4 times the trinomial. Minus 4 times 4r squared minus 2r plus 3. So now that it's set up, let's distribute. 3r times 4r squared is 12r to the third, because I have 1 plus 2 will make 3. 3r times negative 2r is negative 6r squared, because the 1 plus the 1 makes the 2. 3r times 3 will be 9r. Then the other one, negative 4 times 4r squared is simply negative 16r squared. This is basic distribution. Negative 4 times 2r is positive 8r. And negative 4 times 3 is negative 12. So the multiplication is now complete. So now let's look for some like terms. Negative 6r squared and negative 16r squared are like terms, and those will add up to be negative 22r squared. 9r and 8r are like terms, and those will add up to be a 17r. The 12r to the third and the minus 12 do not have any like terms, so those will just drop down to the answer. So there's the area of this triangle in terms of r. So I want you to pause the video and try number 3 on your own. Draw a picture if you need to help you see what base and height should be. And this is your solution for number 3. So I'm going to help you set up number 4, and then I'm going to have you finish it on your own. So number 4, it says the length of a rectangle is 4 more than twice the width. If the width is x units long, write an expression for the area of this rectangle. So I'm going to draw a picture for this one. So I know that the width is x. That's the simple one. It tells me, though, the length is, so length is equal to 4 more than twice the width. So remember, if more than is a flip word, the 4 actually is going to come last. So first I have to do twice the width, so I'm going to do 2x. More than means plus, so plus, and then 4. So this is how we represent the length for this problem. 2 times the width plus 4. 4 more than twice the width. Now that you figured out what length and width is, simply how do we find area of a rectangle? Well, we're going to do length times width. So we're going to have x times 2x plus 4. And you could have also written it as 2x plus 4 times x. That's correct too. But because x is simpler, it usually gets thrown in the front, and it doesn't really need parentheses because it only has one thing in it. There's only one term, not multiple. So you should pause the video and find the expression for the area for number 4. And here's what you should have had for your solution for area. Now let's look at number 5. A town council plans to build a parking lot. The outline below represents the proposed shape of the parking lot. So letter A says find the perimeter of the proposed parking lot. So perimeter is adding all of your sides. So don't forget that perimeter and area are very different. So perimeter will add all sides. And that's easy. But I'm missing 2 of my sides. I'm missing this side here, and I'm also missing this side here. I'll highlight those. So I'm missing this yellow side, and I'm also missing this blue side. So if this is a rectangle, we can assume that if I split this in half, I know that this line will come all the way across here. So I know that this side has to be this long side minus this piece right here. So I'm going to figure this side out first. I'm going to call this number 1. So side 1. Side 1. So to figure out side 1, I'm going to have to take the 2x minus 5 and subtract this, this x plus 5. That will give me the remaining piece here in blue. So distribute the negative, so we get negative x minus 5. So we're going to distribute the negative. And we're going to combine like terms. So 2x minus x is an x, and negative 5 minus 5 is negative 10. So this side right here where my number 1 is, which I will now erase and make a little smaller, this side right here is x minus 10. So that's side number 1. Now I need to figure out side number 2. So again, if I kind of extend this side here, I can see that side 2 is simply the subtraction of this long side minus x. So to figure out side 2, I will have to do the long side, 2x plus 15, minus this short side of x. So this is just 2x plus 15 minus x, and 2x minus x is an x. So that's the value of my short side. So this green side is 2x plus 15. Sorry, x plus 15. The short side is x plus 15. Now that I have all the side lengths, I can answer question A, the perimeter. So I'm going to simply add all these sides up. So we're going to add, I'll do it vertically. So we have 2x minus 5. That's this side here. I'll start here. This side is x, so I'll do x here. I'm going to line up my like terms. Then I have x plus 5. Then I have x plus 15. Then we've got x minus 10 and 2x plus 15. So those are all my sides. So I'm going to add all those up just like I would a regular problem. So on my constants, we have 5 plus negative 5, which is 0. We have 15 plus 15, which is 30, and 30 minus 10 is 20. Now let's add all the x's. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 8x. So my perimeter is 8x plus 20. So now let's look at area. So letter B says find the area of the proposed parking lot. So for area, I know that area is length times width for rectangles. So I'm going to erase some of my markings on my picture here. So I can see that this is actually made up of 2 rectangles. And you can split this any way you want. My red and green are already splitting it in half. My 2 rectangles can either be split this way, where this is rectangle 1 and this is rectangle 2, or I can split the rectangle this way, where this is rectangle 1 and this is rectangle 2. I prefer the second split. So this guy here is your rectangle 1, and this is rectangle 2. So to find the total area, I need to find the areas of the individual pieces. So the area for rectangle 1. So the rectangle 1, the length is x, and the width is 2x plus minus 5. Now that we have the setup, simply multiply together. So I'll do this in red. So x times 2x is 2x squared. X times negative 5 is negative 5x. So there's part of my area. So now I need to find the area for rectangle 2. I'll do it in blue. So for rectangle 2, here is my length, x minus 10. And then my width is this green piece here of x plus 15. Okay. And now we multiply. So we've got x times x plus 15 minus 10 times x plus 15. And we distribute. So x times x will make x squared. X times 15 will make 15x. Negative 10 times x is negative 10x. And negative 10 times 15 is negative 150. Combine like terms. So 15 and negative 10x can be combined to make 5x. And this is the area for rectangle 2. So now if I want my total area, we're going to add up the individual pieces. So I'm going to add 2x squared minus 5x, and I'm going to add it to x squared plus 5x minus 150. We're going to add those together to get our total area. So 2x squared plus x squared is 3x squared. Negative 5x and 5x make 0. And then negative 50 plus nothing is negative 150. So here's the area for this proposed parking lot. 3x squared minus 150. The last few examples are a little bit more advanced. So for number 6, it says, write a polynomial expression that represents the volume of the rectangular prism below in terms of x. So now we're talking about volume of a prism. So the formula to find volume is length times width times height. So we're basically multiplying all 3 of these sides together. So I'll write it down below. So volume will be the length, 2x minus 1, times the width, 4x minus 2, times the height, 3x plus 2. So again, we have 3 things multiplied together, similar to when we had to do area of a triangle, except instead of having a half as my third item, we have another polynomial. So think about how you would do this if it was just regular numbers. If I just had 3 times 4 times 2, think about how you would solve this in your head. You would do 3 times 4 first, and you would get 12. Then you would take 12 and multiply it by 2 to get your answer of 24. So you do it in 2 steps. We have to do the same thing here. So what we're going to do is we're going to multiply the first 2 polynomials first, get our answer, and then multiply it to the third one. So when we multiply this, I'm going to show you kind of how the setup's going to work all the way down. We're going to take 2x times the second polynomial, just like normal, 2x times 4x minus 2, then minus 1 times 4x minus 2. However, this is still technically in a giant set of parentheses because we still have to multiply 3x plus 2 in a minute. We're just kind of ignoring him right now. So now let's continue. We're going to do 2x times 4x to make 8x squared, 2x times negative 2 to make negative 4x, negative 1 times 4x to make negative 4x, and negative 1 times negative 2 to make positive 2. And again, this is still sitting in parentheses because we still have to multiply it to 3x plus 2. Now, before you actually multiply again, let's kind of do some combining on the first one. I can combine negative 4x and negative 4x to make negative 8x. And so this simplifies it just a little bit. And we still have that in parentheses, and we're still going to multiply 3x plus 2. So what we've done is we've basically multiplied 3 and 4, and we got 12. We multiplied these two together and got this as a result. Now we're on to step 2. Now we're going to multiply our 12 to our remaining 2. So now we're going to multiply this green trinomial to this blue binomial. So I want you to pause the video and multiply these two together and then unpause to find the volume of this rectangular prism. And here's the volume of this rectangular prism. Final example that we will do together is number 7. So we need to determine the area of the shaded region only. So what that means is that means all I want is this outside piece here. I don't want that little box inside included in my answer. So let's think about how we would go about this. Forget the fact that there's x's and everything crazy going on. If I want only the shade, that means I need to find this large rectangle area first, and then I have to subtract out the area of this unshaded piece here in the middle because I need to get rid of it. And that's what subtraction is. It's getting rid of things. So I need to really do this in 3 parts. The first part, I need to find the area of the large rectangle, of the outer side. And the way we find area of a rectangle is length times width. Same thing. So we're going to take the length, 5x minus 3, times the width, 2x plus 4. So I want you to pause the video and find the area of this large outside rectangle. And here's the area for the outside rectangle. Now, step 2 is we need to find the area of the small rectangle, the unshaded piece, because that's what we're going to subtract out. And again, it's still length times width. So for the area of the small, it's going to be negative 3x plus 9 minus 9 times 9x plus 2. So again, pause the video, see if you can find the area of the small rectangle. And here's the area of the smaller rectangle. So now we have our individual pieces. I have the large rectangle and I have the small rectangle. Now I need to find just the area of the shade. So that means I need to take the large rectangle and subtract the smaller one because this is the piece that I need to get rid of. This is the overall area, and this is the piece that is not shaded. So I need to take this and subtract this one. So that's step 3 is find the area of just the shaded region. So step 3 is just the shaded area. So we're going to take the area of the large minus the area of the small, the unshaded. So the area of my large was 10x squared plus 14x minus 12 minus the area of the small, which was negative 27x squared minus 87x minus 18. And now we figure out what the area is. So we're going to actually simplify this down. So I'm going to distribute out my minus. So this is a positive 27x squared. This is a positive 87x, and this is a positive 18. And now we're going to drop the green one down because there's no negative in front of him. And now we're simply going to combine like terms. So 10x squared and 27x squared make 37x squared. 14x and 87x make 101x when I add them together. Negative 12 plus 18 makes a positive 6. So this is the area of the shaded region only in terms of x. Now, normally these are not drawn to scale. So this is the area of my shaded region in terms of x. I want you to pause the video and try to do the same idea for number 8. But remember, the area for a triangle is 1/2 base times height. And there are two triangles in here. There's this big triangle here, and there's this little triangle here. So there are two triangles layered on top of each other. Pause the video, try number 8. And here's what you should have had for the area of the shaded portion for number 8, negative 1.2x squared.